Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Wednesday, the 21st of June, 2017. Here's a look at the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market and futures form, sitting right where it was 3 weeks ago. We've been in a fairly narrow range here. Nasdaq and S&P both sold off a bit. Let's go through the major indices, see where we're at, and then we'll take a look at the intraday action. We'll talk about the economic data coming out tomorrow and get ourselves on track. So crude oil drops again to 43.35, down a buck. Right near the lows, it's got an inverted cup and handle, and the lowest it's been the last year was basically in that 40 to 42 range for a couple of weeks last August. So this is an interesting turn of events here on crude oil, as it's basically going to be below 90% of the year's action. Gold down $3.90. That completes a new 9-bar startup phase to the downside right there on gold. You can see the last 9-bar startup phase to the upside was the high, so it's kind of in sync with what's going on there. S&P 500 down 16.43. Nasdaq 100 down 45.91. SOX down 13. This looks really ugly, by the way, this SOX chart. The Nasdaq one doesn't look good either. Look at that. You cracked the lows from the last week, and you're in trouble there. Biotechs, though, were up 39. Finally, after all this time of all days, the Biotechs up about 40 points and sweep the all-time highs. They were higher. Came back later in the day. Got to make something go up, right, when everything else goes down. The VIX up 49 cents to 1086. The trend at 1.76. Nasdaq volume closes at 2.5 billion shares. Advanced decline ratio on the Nasdaq was negative 937. That's the weakest in about a month. Advanced decline ratio on the New York down negative 1230, also about the weakest in a month. Google loses $6.23. Apple back down $1.33. These are the ones to watch if they crack the recent lows. Look out. Amazon down $2.58, still holding near highs. Netflix down $1.35. Tesla gains $2.44. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, the highest close since the day after the election. Dow Jones down 61. Not that anybody follows the Dow. Goldman Sachs down $1.03. All right, let's look at the intraday action. Wasn't very exciting. Matter of fact, other than the big gap up Monday morning and then 2 pushes higher. And if you really look at it, mostly flat until the very end of the day, Tuesday. Volume was strong on the Nasdaq, though. Here's the Nasdaq side. So look at this. So this is a potential floating island. This is what's interesting about this. If we were to gap down tomorrow, this becomes a floating island above. Those are pretty bearish when they happen, so we'll see what happens. But again, a gap down, if anything, more than about 20 points on the Nasdaq tomorrow would put the market in some serious jeopardy, in my opinion. All right, in terms of the economic data that's due, we've got MBA Mortgage Purchase Index at 7 a.m. Eastern, existing home sales at 10, and crude oil inventories at 10:30. We've still got some minor, the weekly jobless numbers on Thursday, new home sales on Friday. That's about it. And then, of course, next week, well, we can start the week fine. The back end of next week, we get wrapped up and everybody getting ready for the 4th of July holiday, which is the week after. But 4th of July lands on a Tuesday this year, so people are going to leave early on Friday this next week at the end of the month. So we'll see what we get. Hopefully something a little more interesting. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple of weeks. Have a great trading Wednesday.